here in Cornwall. And I'm still having our lovely Maya here in the studio, telling us all the challenges and the fundraising.
As their volunteer coordinator.
Okay.
And I was working 3 days a week. And then this, and I was hoping to eventually move into a full-time role as a good opportunity and a way to actually bring these organizations to work in partnership together.
Yeah.
So Cornwall Refugee Resource Network has obviously got a lot of long-standing kind of community connections across the whole region of Cornwall, and DCRS was it's a bigger charity, and we have quite a lot of like resources that maybe aren't as available to CRRN. So it felt like quite a good collaboration and a good partnership. So when I took on the role of development officer, it was always very much bridging this kind of partnership between these two organizations.
Yes. Yeah.
And working across them both, but obviously with a focus on issues affecting people living in Cornwall. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good collaboration because this CRS is already into asylum-seeking adults, individuals, helping with legal processes.
Yeah.
So collaborating with them, I believe, is going to be something very effective.
Yeah, and I think as well, when we started doing a lot of this work in Cornwall, we really started to think about where we were best placed to support.
Okay.
And we were working with and kind of trying to build stronger relationships with different community groups and volunteer groups that were already working in Cornwall.
Okay.
And some of those groups had either they were a community sponsorship group that had already sponsored and supported a family to come to the UK, and maybe still wanted to do work supporting refugees, but their family didn't necessarily need as much support, or they've just generally been working in communities with an interest in supporting the experiences of refugees there. And through these this relationship building and meetings that we were having, it became very clear that everybody was quite keen to kind of get behind a project together.
Okay.
And this felt like the best use of our kind of collective influence and time. It felt like a gap that we all recognized and something that we felt like we had the means and the energy in the community to be able to support.
Now we are into adults and we are introducing children.
Yeah.
So what additional support does DCRS need to successfully extend to these services to this?
So I guess, do you mean in terms of how does this impact the work that we do?
Yes.
Yeah. So like you said, I mean, none of this work is done easily. It's really demanding work. It takes a long time, a lot of the time. Like, it can take a really long time to go through. For most people who claim asylum, they're often doing this journey for over a year. That's a long time to be supported by somebody. I don't want to pretend I'm a legal expert, because I'm certainly not. I'm not a solicitor. I'm not any kind of qualified immigration advisor. But from working next to some, it's a really demanding role. You need to be constantly kind of staying on top of your training. It involves having adequate supervision. In the case of some of the work that would be done to support these children, it would involve supporting them to make their initial claim, to gather evidence, to prepare for their interviews with the Home Office, which can be really, really challenging and distressing experiences, because you're reliving traumatic events and you are being asked a lot of very invasive questions. It also means that if somebody, for whatever reason, the Home Office decides they don't have enough to practice the most ethical and compassionate practice that we can, to provide legal support to children, you also need to undergo training and have adequate supervision.